Hooters you got there?
I beg your pardon?
How can I be thinking about the garbage when I got some Hooters on my mind?
The owls. They're beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Are you a bird lover?
Me? Oh, no. Well, I used to have a parakeet.
Just out of curiosity, what percentage are Hooters on your mind? Is it like 60% of your downtime? Is it
Depends
higher?
on the day.
But now my main area of expertise is canines. Dogs, to the layperson.
Thanks. I love dogs too. So how are you involved with them?
Oh, I've trained them. Bathed them, clipped them. I've even bred them.
Any unusual breeding?
No, mostly just doggy style.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Lattis.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it. They making plans, we sit and count. Our chair is stacked just like a mountain. You heard about it, she running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying.
Moving a little slow this morning, Chew. I might need your tips on how to Thirsty Thursday and then Function Friday.
Oh,
I'm dry January.
You're doing dry January?
Yeah.
Or is it more of a damp January?
Dry.
Okay.
What?
You got to purge every now and
When
then.
did
gotta
you decide to
purge
do
The
this?
system. January 6th, 7th.
Wait, so you got to drink during the college football playoff games that were going on January 1st.
Yeah.
And wait, is this one of those things where
Why does it?
you imbibed, you enjoyed, and then you felt like doo-doo, so then you were like, I'm not doing that anymore? Or was this the classic, I'm never drinking again reaction?
I cut the head off every now and then. I don't know how long. I'm one of those guys like, I'm sick of it. It's the same old crap. Just change it up.
Dry January based
I don't
on
know.
vibes.
It could be a dry January. I've gone 6 months before. It's not a big deal.
Based on vibes. He could make his way into the summer, or he could be sitting there tomorrow watching the wild card round and go, you know what would be good with this wild card game?
Yes.
Glass of wine.
Is it a discipline thing? Are you trying to test your discipline and see if you can just not enjoy an alcoholic beverage for the next? Wait, what day is it?
It is January 10th.
Oh, so you've been 4 days strong.
Yeah. No, it's more of a cleanse. It's a cleanse. I mean, some people do enemas. I do dryness.
January-ish, by the way. It's like Janua. That's you don't get the full January if you start dry January on the 6th.
I mean, it doesn't seem fair that February's right there. It's only 28 days, so it's just like you've lopped off the front end of January and still gets credit for the full month.
Do I have to take it the 6 days or 7 days into February?
Yes-ish. I don't care. I really couldn't care less, to be honest with you, if you drink or don't drink. But I had no idea you were doing that.
Neither did he.
I can tell you this.
Hey, wait. Hold on.
I can tell you this, though. What?
Wait. So the only way you've actually done, you've lasted a day.
Correct.
Because if you started the 6th, so then you drank all last weekend, which we know you did because the text messages that we received and discussed earlier this week. So you went through all the entire weekend. You don't drink Monday through Wednesday anyways.
So we took basically
correct.
What it comes down to is you took one Thirsty Thursday off.
Yes, but I can tell you this, not a lot of happy people down here. Now, you would think you would get encouragement, well, that's great, instead of, no, you can't do that. No.
Wait,
no,
why?
We got
why
playoffs.
do they care?
We've got.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're degenerates.
Yeah, but what does you drinking have to do with them drinking?
Because I'm fun, I guess.
People can't resist being around Chewy. It's just a good time.
Which
is why, by the way, I had multiple people reach out to me today in a panic because R.I.P. Chewy was trending on Twitter.
Oh.
So I had to confirm that Chewy is indeed still amongst us.
What was that in reference to?
The best I could figure somebody who just had their dog died, and his name was Chewy, and the post went viral.
Oh. Well, good.
See,
good
I
to
was
know.
big when I played. When I played, Brett got the babies, and I got the pets. So Brett was a hot name when Brett was playing.
Oh, God,
And
thank God
in
he's
the
clearing that up.
90s,
Oh, you didn't pick that up?
I had
there
no
were
idea what he was talking about.
yeah,
no
there
idea.
were a
I
lot
was
of
like,
pets.
Brett
So,
got the babies, and I got the pets.
Yeah, in terms of things that got named after.
yeah.
Now I know that, but at first I thought
Yeah.
it was some sort of separation arrangement.
Is this, hold on, Gabe.
Chewy,
Is this
Chewy.
Evan's weak way of trying to get back at me for what I said earlier in the week?
I don't think so.
Oh, wait, you think Evan Cohen did the R.I.P. Chewy and got it going viral?
Well, this is where Gabe got it from.
Yeah, so Evan was the first
Isn't
person
it?
to reach out with a screenshot of R.I.P. Chewy from Twitter, and he had sent me an email, and that's all it was. There was no message in the email. There was no other than the picture that said R.I.P. Chewy. So I emailed him
Kinda
back
weak.
after I was able to call and talk to Chewy to confirm that Chewy is indeed still amongst the living.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you're still here, bud. I can't believe you're doing a dry Janua. That's what we're going to call it from now on. Just so you know.
I mean, right now, let's be honest. Right now, it's just a dry J.
It's just a dry jaw. I think we should take bets on how far it goes. Take a date. It'll be like a pregnancy poll.
Give me the 11th.
No, I wouldn't. Well, I've gone, like I said, 6 months.
You have gone 6 months, but the problem
Standing on my head.
is, Chew, right now, yes, I think you could do it. If you were just by yourself in a fortress of solitude, I think that you could do it. But the problem is, you mentioned all your friends around you who are already upset that you've started to do this. You were relieved when you came up to Wisconsin around the holidays because you're like, man, every day's a Saturday down there. Every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Everybody just wants to drink. I gotta go and I gotta drink with these people. They are going to wear your ass down. You are not making it through the month of January.
This is what drives me, and this is what brought me to doing this. So you guys know I popped my sack in my elbow, right? Tried going back to the gym on Monday.
Yeah.
Aggravated it again.
Oh, no.
So I bought a TENS unit. I bought one of those things to increase the circulation flow in the elbow. This is driven by my doughiness because I've been out of the gym for a month.
Oh, you know
So
what?
it's driven by my doughiness. Monday, I think I'm good to go until I de-dough myself. I'm not doing it.
This makes sense.
I'm not
You know
doing
what?
it.
This I actually now that I've gotten the real and true explanation, he's got this.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess the 16th. Okay. That was a wonderful speech. I appreciate your dedication. I'm giving it till next Thursday because you won't drink this weekend because you just committed to it on the 6th. Yesterday was your first test.
Hold on,
You
Jen.
didn't drink yesterday. Congratulations. Good on ya.
But
you got
hold
this
on.
weekend coming up. That's going to be tough, Chew. It's going to be tough. People are going to be celebrating.
So you guys are missing something, and it's right in front of your face. It's right in front of your face. You're missing. Anybody? Josh?
Bueller?
I have no idea what's going on.
This just refers to alcohol.
Gummies.
Well, yeah. I assumed that was going to
It's
continue to happen.
California soda. There's a name for it.
Would you like to guess again on how long it's going to be, Jen?
No, I'll stick with my 16th prediction. We're doing so Chewy is doing a dry Janua. You can't give him the RY because he skipped the first 6 days of the month. But he's doing a dry Janua, and he's telling us that he's going to make it the whole month through January 31st without drinking. Maybe longer.
I
Who
think
can
he's
say?
going to go into February because he's been out of the gym for like a month.
Yeah, this will be a walk.
He's been out of the gym for a
dying.
month.
All
And
right.
once he starts
Angry.
pumping and he starts to see those results, he's not going to want to backtrack with the alcohol.
You need to give us a date.
I mean, now that I know,
Oh, Gabe.
No, you don't get to pick your own baby pool.
now that I know this has actually been a thing, the true reason behind it, not just because he felt like doing it, and there's a reason, and it has to do with his weightlifting. I'm going to say...
Gabe, hold on. I want to give you... Gabe, hold on. Before you say that, I want to give you one more nugget.
Okay.
I just went to Mentality South.
Okay. Oh, so he's feeling real good. He's going to start pumping iron. He's got that testosterone in him. I'm going to say Valentine's Day. You're going to have a nice Valentine's Day dinner to celebrate not just your wife, but the fact that you lost some of your doughiness. I am saying February 14th.
Joshy, you got a prediction?
No.
I'm with Gabe.
Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
a good.
There's a reason people pick
That's good.
January's because everyone has the holiday hangover, so there's less gatherings with friends, there's less to do, you spend more time at home.
The fatal flaw in this plan is the only person who's going to be able to tell us if Chewy does have a drink is Chewy.
Let's be honest, we're going to know.
We might need to...
I'll come clean.
Are you sure? Because I was going to say we might need to employ a secret agent over on that end to let us know.
There's only one date that I have to get past. One date.
Super Bowl?
And it's February 2nd. It's someone's birthday.
Oh, see, this is information that's very valuable.
You know whose birthday?
No. Chew, whose birthday is it?
Bleep Bird's. It's Bleep Bird's birthday that day. You're celebrating your kid's dog.
No.
Oh, my God.
If you don't tell me, I'm going to dive through this.
You know what, bro? I can't believe you won't have a cold one on my birthday with me. It's so disappointing.
But you're not even going to be up here.
I'm coming back in a couple weeks.
Oh, so you will be
You know why I'm
here?
coming back, though? You know why I'm coming back?
No, again, because the way you tell stories,
You just don't start telling
you just like trickle information out. For the love of God, give us all the details.
Quickly, before we move past it, that was an impression of Chewy's neighbor up here, the Blammer.
Yes.
So what
I'm
other
coming back for
information?
4 days.
Here we go. You're coming back. You're going to tell us why.
His birthday.
For 4 days to get a haircut.
Well, you can't find a barber down there?
I would imagine it's not his
my
hair
wife.
that's getting cut.
It's my wife.
Oh.
She may... No, it is. It's just she has to do certain things, so she needed a reason for me to go back, so she booked me a haircut on whatever day, so that's why I'm coming
So
back
Jason goes to Madison for his haircut, and you have to come all the way back here for yours.
Yes.
Y'all are weird. Folks weighing in on the Carbless Talking text line this morning, 800-990-3776. Less is more. Dumpy says, I'm going Price is Right on Gabe and saying the day after Valentine's Day. Is that how that works?
Oh.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So
I
he
believe
thinks
so. Yeah.
any day beyond Valentine's Day, but the likelihood is that he's going to drink on Valentine's Day, not the day after Valentine's Day.
Correct.
So
What day is Valentine's Day this
It's
year?
Friday.
No, what date? What is the date?
What do you mean?
Goodness gracious.
What do you mean?
It's
What
not
date?
like Thanksgiving.
Easter. It doesn't bop
No, I
around.
thought it was like Easter.
No,
it is
What,
much
it's a
like
specific
Christmas. It is
date?
much like July 4th.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve, New Year's Day.
Christmas Day. Your birthday. Hey, what date's your birthday on this
I
year,
thought
Chew?
I thought it was on Easter. Like Easter. I thought it was like...
No,
I
it's
thought they did it on a Tuesday, every Tuesday, like in
Like
February.
the second Tuesday in February or something
nope.
like that? No,
Nope.
it's famously February 14th. Every year
Gotcha.
of your life.
All right. Just, you know what? While you're up here, Chew, just text Dean, make a plan to go over there because you're obviously forgetting Valentine's Day. Just go to the jewelry center, preemptively have something stashed away so when you forget, you can give it to her. I may have to back off the 14th
I just went there.
because he has no idea.
Dino hooked me up. He hooked me up with a beautiful ring. Got a lot of points, too. A lot of points.
A couple more yoga pants.
Dean should. He should sell yoga pants and diamonds.
All right, well,
You know
make
how
sure
much
he
business
hears
I
he
was
would
about to
get?
say, Josh, let's make sure we send this to our friends at the jewelry center.
Expansion.
Hey, Dean, Chewy's got expansion ideas for you. No, not another store. Now, within the store, you just sell another product.
My God, are you a menace? We got to take a break on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We do have lots of actual stuff to get to this morning. We are going to talk about the Green Bay Packers taking on the Eagles this weekend. We've got Jason Wilde coming up. We have Craig Karmazin. And in the second hour of the show, we have Adam Schefter, who is joining us. You probably all saw on social media, but Adam Schefter's dog passed away earlier this week, so he is joining us today instead of his usual scheduled Wednesday. We will talk with Jason Wilde right after this on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Well, we were just talking it. So, fellas, listen up. If you're getting ready to take that next step in life and propose, of course, the Jewelry Center has to be the first step. Whether it's naturally mined, lab-grown diamonds, the Jewelry Center has options for it all. Maybe you have an idea of that ring for that special someone. Maybe you don't. Go to our Pinterest page, print out some of those ideas, bring in some of those ideas, and the fine folks at the Jewelry Center are always going to point you in the right direction. Of course, if you're not looking to get engaged, but looking for a great gift idea, the way that Chewy was and earned points with his wife, the Jewelry Center, the only place to go. Learn more about their engagement ring selection or any other services at shoptjc.com. Stop in today at any one of their 3 locations, Greenfield, Brookfield, or in Burlington. Or, when you go there, make sure you just tell them, hey, Gabe and Chew sent us to the Jewelry Center.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
We're looking good right now around our area. We did have a broken down vehicle facing the wrong way in the Marquette on the ramp from southbound 43 to 94 westbound. That has been cleared out of the way, and so things are looking a lot better in that area. But where we're seeing some big problems is in the Madison area. We've got, especially south of the lakes, we've got I-90 and Highway 18 all gummed up with a whole bunch of accidents. There's some snow going through that area, so just be extra careful if you're going to be heading out in that area. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast for us for today. Chance for light snow, possible some freezing drizzle too early, up to a half-inch possible. Then afternoon flurries, a high of 30. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 18. Weather's brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their 2-man scramble tournament and play Pebble Beach for a chance to win cash through the 31st. Sign up at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The Jen, Gabe, and Chewy podcast is sponsored by Celsius Energy Drink, and I am here to tell you it makes a huge difference in my mornings. With a unique blend of essential energy and key vitamins, Celsius is your partner to an active lifestyle. My favorite, the Peach Vibe. Learn more at Celsius.com and pick up Celsius Energy Drinks today.
Do you want to have more fun watching the NFL playoffs? Try playing Sleeper Picks. Just download the Sleeper app today and pick more or less on at least 2 players' projected stats. You can win up to 100 times your cash. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users have to just play $5 and they'll receive $55 in free entries. Just download the Sleeper app today and use code BRAD, B-R-A-D. Must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms of use for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. It's just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a pepper thing.
It's time for the Ortho ASAP Minute from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
Dr. Daniel Holland from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin is joining me. Doctor, what makes an OAW surgeon different from most other surgeons?
At Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, we have all fellowship-trained orthopedic specialists We have all subspecialties of orthopedics covered through our office, so you can see anybody from the tips of your fingers to the tips of your toes and everywhere in between.
So let's say someone is feeling pain and they finally walk into OAW for that first time. Can you take me through that process of what's going to happen next?
We always start with an office appointment, which will involve me conversing with the patient, trying to figure out what's happening, and then a physical exam. And we have on-site x-ray and on-site MRI if we should need to move into diagnostic tests of that sort.
The Ortho ASAP Minute is sponsored by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Ready, down, put. All Packers, all the time.
He was a field tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
The only other person I know who travels obscene distances to get his hair cut, it's Jason Wilde. Good morning, Jason. How are you doing today?
I'm great, and I need a haircut desperately, so maybe I'll have time if things go on Sunday the way the odds makers think they're going to go.
Yeah, it's a great point. We were just looking at ESPN Bet and, of course, over at our friends at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and the line has moved again. Packers now 5-point dogs to the Eagles. So I want to begin.
So just a second, just so I understand this, because I'm not a wagerer. Is that based on something that has happened? Gabe, help me with this, because I know you're very smart about this stuff. Not that everybody on the panel isn't, but that's not because of like Jordan Love practicing in full necessarily, right? That's because of where the money is coming.
Correct.
On who's on what?
Correct.
Yeah.
Abbott and Costello and whatnot. Joshy said this morning he wondered if there were a bunch of people out on the East Coast who are waking up with their new paychecks, Friday and all. And we're like, you know what? I'm going to throw a little cash down. I'm going to throw a little cash down on the Eagles-Packers game.
It's the third time this week I've looked at the line before talking to Jen, the crew here in the morning. And it has moved a full point and a half a point 3 times in a row. So it keeps moving their way and then comes back down throughout the day. It's very interesting.
Okay. Learn something new every day on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Last year, when the Packers played the Cowboys, they were 7.5-point underdogs. Would a win on Sunday be more surprising than a win against the Cowboys last year, than the win against the Cowboys last year?
Yeah, for me it would be. Now, again, I don't know about ESPN Bet, but for me it would be for sure. Like, I don't know. And LaFleur got, I don't want to say irritated with me. I hate it when he says, I respect the question, because he might as well say, I hate that question.
Hey, bleep you, Jason.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'd rather you say that, frankly. But because I was trying to juxtapose the vibe from last year going into the playoffs and the vibe going into this year. Because, look, there was just and again, I'm not saying this is not scientific, but I'm in that locker room every day, not all day long like players are, and guys behave differently when the media is in there. I get that too. But, like, I very distinctly remember being in that locker room last year leading into that Cowboys game thinking, God, these guys are loose. They're confident. They're feeling really good about themselves. And they're like, I'm not intimidated by this. Whereas given how many, young guys because remember the 2022 draft class, Packers lost that last game against the Lions, so they didn't make the playoffs in 22. So they had just a ton of guys who had no idea what playoff football was, and there was no tightness, there was no nervousness. They just didn't. Every day that I was in there leading up to that Cowboys game, that was not the vibe at all. And this week, there's just between Love and dealing with his injury, between the way they finished the season, it just feels different to me. And maybe I'm wrong about that, but when I asked LaFleur kind of the difference and how you get
this year's guys up there to where they were feeling the way they were feeling last year. It was kind of like, I hate it when you guys compare, and I don't think that way. Okay, well then, and so I followed up by saying, all right, well then forget about that. What's the vibe that you sense from this team? And, obviously being in that locker room after the game on Sunday, they were mad and disappointed and frustrated. How do you get them back to the confidence level that you want them to be at for a game? And he didn't have a great answer to that either. So I'm not saying they can't win because they're not in a great mental space, but there's just not that same vibe. And so I will definitely I won't be stunned if they win. I do think they can win this game, but I don't expect them to. Whereas the Cowboys game last year, I don't want to say that I expected them to, but I knew that it was definitely a possibility, even with everything Dallas had done at home during the course of the year.
Well, I think LaFleur, it's flawed thinking. And I understand fans are fans, but Jason, you can't go back to, like, I'm real confident because they went into Dallas last year. It'd be like saying, well, we beat San Francisco 2 years ago. You can
right.
It's just not how it works, There's a reason teams get hot in the playoffs. And to call this team hot, Jason, they can win. They can win. But it's going to take 3 turnovers, and it's going to take some C-level players playing like A-level players to do it.
Yeah, I don't remember you completely. I mean, first of all, I don't remember you guys like in '96. I mean, you were a different team then. Everyone knew you were a Super Bowl team. But, it's not like we ever heard you guys talking about, boy, remember when Brett threw that touchdown to Sterling in Detroit? Like, we did that. We can do anything, right? And look, I'm part of that equation. I did ask Love, doing what he did in Dallas in his first playoff game does for him going into this game. So I'm part of that narrative. I'm gonna wear that. But again, I love that LaFleur said earlier in the week. I can't remember who asked him it, but somebody asked, "Do you believe in momentum?" And he said no. And I wanted to say, okay, if you had won 6 in a row and somebody said, "Do you believe in momentum?" would your answer really have been the same? Because I don't think it would have been. Because it is palpable. You can feel it. And again, you play the game, you would know better than me. But to me, momentum isn't, we're playing great and we know that we're going to continue to play great because we've played great previously. To me, all you guys are confident as players. Otherwise, you wouldn't have even made it this far. But there is something to having evidence to support your confidence, right? Because you did this, that, and the next thing that supports, hey, we are really good. And here, if you don't believe me, look at what we did in this game. And look at what we did this game. And look what we did last week. And this team doesn't have any of that evidence. Now, again, that doesn't mean they can't win. But the idea, to me, that's what momentum is. I have confidence in myself, and I've done a bunch of things this season to convince not only me but others that confidence is well placed.
Jason, I think that Jordan Love needs to have a big game if the Packers want to win. Does he need to get back to the let-it-rip mentality and that conversation that him and LaFleur had last year before the Steelers game, right before the Packers went on their run that resulted in the playoff win a year ago?
Yeah, that's a great question because I still, despite spending much of the week trying to get a better understanding, I mean, I asked Steno and LaFleur, and I asked Love, and I asked some wide receivers, and I got it's just the details over and over and over again, which I understand details are part of it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't have a good answer for why the passing game has not been more productive, right? Like, look, Josh Jacobs is magnificent, and it is possible to have a great running game and use it in a manner that gets your offensive passing game going similarly. And again, to go way back in the history machine, Dorsey Levens ran for nearly 1,500 yards in the 97 season when you guys went back to the Super Bowl. But Brett won his third straight MVP that season because he was great too. And so, look, it's hard because, they're focused on the game plan and everything else. And this was probably more of an off-season dig into the film and then see what you saw. But I still believe that while they have done all this to complement and to fit Josh Jacobs' running style better, going away from the outside zone and going to more duo blocking, which has been great for Jacobs, and being in the pistol or in the shotgun, which, again, has really fit his style, which is great. And I don't want to undercut how awesome he's been. But my opinion, and I would rely on people who know way more ball than I do, so Chew, Bulaga, Tausch, Brad Nortman, etc., Gary Ellerson, people who've played in the league, it just looks to me like their play-action game is nowhere near as dangerous and nowhere near as similar to what they're doing in the run game. I mean, they do some fun stuff in the run game, right? Like that pirouette that Love does. He fakes the handoff to one guy, fakes it to another guy, then he thinks he pauses and puts his hand on his chin for a second. Maybe I'll throw, and then he hands it off. Like that really works. Like they started doing that with Malik, and it's been great. But how many times have you seen them really hit on play action balls in the last, 6 weeks? Like it just doesn't feel like that has been nearly as big of a weapon. And Bulaga did it again this week. He made fun of McCarthy, who we all love, but McCarthy running these play-action fakes that in no way matched any of their actual running plays. And it just feels like they've gotten away from the core principle of this offense from Shanahan and McVay to LaFleur on down, which was the quarterback is under center, fakes the handoff, but for the first 3 steps, the defenders have no clue if it's a run or a pass. And it just feels like, and maybe some of the shotgun and the pistol is also related to Love's injuries and whatever, it just doesn't feel like that's as effective. Chewy, if I'm off base with that, please tell me now, because otherwise I'm
no, you're not, because me and Gabe, we do our all 22, and there was a play, Jason. It was 3rd and 7, and they're running routes like it's 3rd and 15. Remember the play, Gabe?
Yep.
They threw it incomplete to Kraft in the flat, who wasn't really involved in the play. I'm like, why are they running such deep routes when it's 3rd and 7? It's just crazy. I mean, it was a horrible call, and the line was fine. The protection was there. It's just, I don't know. Jason, and I lived. Fox 2 XY hook, you couldn't stop. I caught 40% of my balls probably over my career on that play. It probably had a 75% hit rate. Why aren't they doing that with Tucker Kraft? And I said with you, Jason, I think last week, I'm like, why doesn't he have a play where like, ooh, I remember that play. That works real well. Everything's different. Yeah, there's no bread and butter.
I would agree with that. And on top of that, I do wonder, and look, Jordan Love is nowhere near the point where Favre was with you, or where Rodgers was with Devontae or Jordy before that. But do you feel like I feel like Kraft could? Again, I was the early adopter of comparing him to you, so I'm going to continue to brag about that. But the fact of the matter is that whenever Brett needed it, whenever he didn't have anything else and was like, okay, I got to do something here, you were that security blanket, right? I mean, he just always knew, hey, if all else fails, just Chew and I'll figure it out. And when you look, and again, I feel like I'm being, folks that are listening or that are in the YouTube comments, I'm not watching, I'm not monitoring those like I do during our show, but I'm thinking they're sitting there, God, you guys are being so negative today. It's not that. It's just, who is the guy right now that when you look at Love, you say, okay, he knows that this guy can come through for him. Because look, let's be honest, as great as you were, you weren't a game-breaking pass-catching player. You were all right. So I'm not saying that.
Jason, he was 100 overall in Madden. Let's not undersell.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, I've heard that, and I always thought he was more during his era more of like an Intellivision or Atari player. Like they didn't really keep score then, but be that as it may. I don't feel like there's that guy, that safety valve, that security blanket for Love. And maybe the offense is designed differently, so you just go through your progressions and you do what you do there. But it would be – I always thought Kraft would be that guy. And, again, if you look at his production of late, it has tailed off some. And I don't think it's because suddenly Tucker Kraft isn't effective.
Jason, good stuff. We appreciate you. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, everybody, take care. Be good.
He's Jason Wilde. You can listen to him on Wilde and Tausch right after Jen, Gabe, and Chewy each and every morning here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. We got to get to Craig Karmazin. He is coming up next. I would like at some point, and I don't think that this is Craig Karmazin's job, for somebody to explain to me how outside zone versus duo affects the quarterback. What is the primary effect on the quarterback when you switch from one to the other? How does it change the passing lanes? How does it change his decision-making? I would like somebody smarter than me to tell me if that has affected Jordan Love and his ability to get in a rhythm to have success this season. Again, not saying that that's Craig Karmazin's job to do, but somebody, maybe it's Chew, can explain to me if that is having an effect on the quarterback this year. We'll take a break. Roll on right after this.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We're looking pretty good around our area. No major incidents or accidents or delays for that matter. Volume's just starting to wake up a little bit, but a typical Friday morning for you. Just be careful if you're heading into the Madison area. Got a lot of accidents along Highway 18 and along I-90, so just be extra careful. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, chance for light snow or freezing drizzle early, up to a half-inch possible. Afternoon flurries then with a high of 30. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 18. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Look what I found.
What is it?
It's a list of the traditional and modern anniversary gifts for each year of marriage.
Sarah and I use a different list. But go ahead and tell us about yours.
The traditional gift for your first anniversary is paper, but the modern gift is a clock.
Well, our list says the first anniversary is always diamond jewelry.
What's your list called?
The People's Choice.
The traditional gift for your 6th anniversary is iron, but the modern gift is wood.
What a coincidence. For the 6th anniversary, our list says diamonds again. What do you have for the 10th anniversary, Rick?
Traditional is aluminum. Modern is diamond jewelry.
Well, there you go. Our lists agree. What have you got for the 7th anniversary?
Copper and a desk set.
Nope. Diamonds again.
I'm beginning to see the wisdom of the People's Choice list.
It's good to have you on board.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Did you make up that People's Choice list, or is it real?
Well, we're people, aren't we?
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season. I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text STAY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text STAY to 42424. That's STAY to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code YEAR to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
It's Friday, and that means it's time to check in with GKB President Craig Karmazin.
Gabe, you're right. I actually just looked at the stats. No hypocrite has ever won a championship.
Fridays with Mo.
Mark Attanasio, the last thing he wanted to do was play a video and tribute Craig Counsell in any way. So I give Mark Attanasio a ton of credit.
Craig Karmazin on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is sponsored by Landworks Landscape Services. Their creative and talented team will design, build, enhance, and maintain beautiful landscapes in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more and see their work at landworkswisconsin.com.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward.
Before we bring Craig Karmazin in, I just want to get the pulse of this panel, okay? So we know what the baseline is. Is anyone here feeling more confident about the Packers' ability to walk out of Philadelphia with a win today than they were on Monday following the loss to the Bears? Anyone?
No.
Joshy?
Yeah. I mean, the negativity on Monday was as deep as it goes.
Huh?
Matt LaFraud was a thing, Fire Goody, all those things.
Matt the Mouse, I see that everywhere.
I don't feel as bad as I did.
But you're still not picking up the
I don't
win.
understand.
That's what you think.
How do you be positive? This isn't a cheerleader show. This is an analyst show, you know? Am I right? I mean, what do they want us to do? Cheerlead?
I mean, Chew, I don't know if you
We're
can
just
call us...
telling you what we think.
I know. I don't know if you can call us an analyst show with some of the other topics of conversation we've had this week.
This week.
Yeah, we're
Are
a
we
bunch
life
of,
coaches? I think
we're
could
a
be life
bozo
coaches.
show is what we are. I do want to bring Craig Karmazin in on this. I just wanted to get the baseline, Craig, so that you know what you're stepping into. I am not any more confident today than I was earlier this week, but Joshy is more confident today than he was on Monday. Where do you stand in your confidence level on the Green Bay Packers going into Philly?
Hey, morning. I just bet a money line bet. I'm in New Jersey. I just put a money line bet on the Green Bay Packers. And you are all, and I'm not even a Packers fan. I'm a Bears fan. So I could actually look at this in a appropriate way. You are all delusional. This was a team that last year was playing a bad schedule and went 9-8. This year had to play a significantly tougher schedule, improved by 2 games. Jordan Love hasn't thrown a pick in 2 months. Last year they went in as a over 7-point underdog and beat the Dallas Cowboys. This time they're going into a Philadelphia Eagles team that doesn't have the cohesiveness. I mean, I don't know what you guys want from the Green Bay Packers, but this team has delivered on expectations this year and is well set up to go into this playoffs.
Are you drunk?
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Why did I say that's wrong?
Just from
Why
a
did I say that's
baseline
wrong?
standpoint, I feel like we need to know, have you been drinking this morning or late into last night?
What did I say that's wrong? And
that this team is set up for postseason
like,
success when they're the 7 seed going on the road to one of what Chewy says is the 3rd hardest stadium to play in?
Yeah,
Here's the problem. You want to know what the problem is? Craig, you want the problem? This is the problem. You praise people when the Packers are good and they win and they get it right. You don't praise people when they're bad and we get it right. Because if they lose this game, me and Gabe have been flipping spot on this year. And you won't admit it. That's the problem. We've been spot on. We've been called negative Nellies. We've been called this.
Look
what makes you
have been with
think
you all year.
they're going to win this game? The 5 tough games they played, they got smoke chopped. Give me your marquee win.
Hold on, I got to write that one
get
down.
smoked by the Eagles.
Was it smoke chopped or smoke shopped?
Smoke chopped.
They did not
Chopped with
get
a C,
smoked
okay.
by the Eagles. They did not get smoked by the Eagles. So
Are the Eagles better now than they were that first game of the year? Are the Eagles better now than that first game of the year?
I think both teams.
I'm not
going
to blow smoke. I don't have it in me to blow smoke. I don't have it in me to blow smoke. Even when I played, Craig.
Chewy, I'm sorry Rashawn Gary makes more money than you, so you have to rip on him every second you get.
I don't care. I got plenty of money. I got plenty of money. I don't need any more money.
The guy's a really productive player. Look at Pro Football Focus.
Craig, when we went into Dallas.
It's not just sack numbers. Rashawn Gary is productive. This defense is way better than it was last year. Last year at this time, they had just given up 300-yard performances to, like, Tommy DeVito and had been Bryce Young enrolled them.
Yeah, but they had also, Craig, they also beat the Lions on the road. They also beat the eventual Super Bowl champion at home in Kansas City. Like, there was more proof of concept.
That was ancient news at that point. Think about December of last year. They equally struggled offensively like they did this year against the Bears.
Okay, then Craig, if that was ancient news by the time they got to the Dallas Cowboys, then any positive thing this year is going to be ancient news because they've lost and looked bad their last 2 games.
This year, they beat everyone they're supposed to beat. They lost everyone they're supposed to beat. Don't overly look at this Bears game. I mean, come on. I mean,
what do you mean everyone they're supposed to beat? Wait, Craig. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page here. Expectations for the Green Bay Packers are to win Super Bowls. Yes or no?
No, that's stupid.
Expectations for the Green Bay Packers are to win the division. Yes or no?
No,
now
not this year.
Now you're just lying. Now you're just absolutely straight up lying to defend your position. They were supposed to. You have to beat the Lions. You have to beat the Vikings. You have to beat the Bears. Like that's part of the expectation for the Green Bay Packers, Craig.
Okay, Josh, between Josh, Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, who thought the Packers were better than the Lions coming into this year?
Thought they could hold their own.
Jen said Jen did say they're going to go undefeated.
My bold prediction was that they would win every game in the division. I thought they would fall into a second.
Delusional. So just because you were delusional coming into the year doesn't mean that the Packers haven't achieved what they should.
No. What I have been able to do, Craig, is I have been able to reevaluate as the season has gone on to recognize that I was way wrong about how close they were to the other teams in the division, to the Lions, to the Vikings. And there has been no progress. That's the other thing. There's a stretch of games that Gabe likes to point to after the bye where they were putting up 30 points consistently. But even then, the eye test was they don't look great doing it. They were fine. It was good. But, like, it wasn't like, wow, this team is going to be able to go toe-to-toe with the best teams in the NFC, with the best teams in the AFC.
Craig, okay, so
Craig,
let's accept the point.
Did you think they were going to beat Minnesota twice? Did you think they were going to beat Minnesota twice? Because if you say no, you're a liar.
No, I went on, by the way, the Wilde and Tausch Predictathon and said that they would not sweep anybody in the division this year. And so, again,
might have been the only one right.
They're so ahead. They're just so ahead of the curve because last year they should have been a 7-win team. This year they should have had an easier schedule and then been like a 9 or 10-win team. Like, they're ahead of schedule.
But, Craig, you don't buy that BS. Like, ahead of schedule means nothing. You get opportunities. You take advantage of the opportunities.
And when you don't, you get criticized for not doing so.
So let's just accept the premise.
Why are you criticizing before they haven't done it? Like, they've shown they could go on the road and win a big playoff game. Jordan Love.
No, they haven't.
No, last year's team showed that.
Last year's team showed that, Craig. This year's team has not shown
that. Jordan Love as a quarterback showed that. How are you going to not give Jordan Love credit that he could go into Philadelphia and win when he went into Dallas and won last year? Dallas was a more impressive home team last year statistically than Philadelphia was this year.
Because Jordan Love was playing better going into that game last year than he is this year.
Jordan Love is playing great. You guys just don't want to agree with what the numbers show.
He's playing okay.
I heard you the other day.
The numbers show he's playing.
The QBR works except when it disagrees with your eyes.
No, QBR is in relation to the other quarterbacks in the league.
So QBR says he's 5th, Craig. Quarterback rating says he's 12th. Which one do you think is more accurate?
QBR.
Everyone supports his argument.
Okay, but I've wanted to say this, Craig. All right, so let's accept the premise that even though it's ridiculous because they were supposed to beat the Bears and lost, let's accept the premise that they beat all the teams they were supposed to and lost all the teams they were supposed to. They're supposed to lose this game. Why is that trend suddenly going to reverse itself for this team?
It did last year. Jordan Love in the playoffs.
But it didn't
elevated
last year.
Game.
But okay, Craig, give me a reason about this year. Last year was last year, man. Like that was a completely different team than what they're doing this year. It's
because there's no cohesiveness with the Philadelphia Eagles offense right now. And Jalen Hurts has not been playing, and that matters going into the postseason.
This is the most Delulu thing you've said on the show. This is the most Delulu thing. We all watched Saquon Barkley chew up the turf all season long. We're supposed to believe that now in the postseason he's going to regress. He's going to be some underperforming version of himself.
Why do you think it's a 5-point spread and not a 10-point spread? If it's such a great home field advantage and it's all this, why is it a 5-point spread?
I mean, it's a 5-point spread because it's a great home field advantage and the Eagles are better. Like
5 is not a lot.
Yeah, but you're not going to see these lines for playoff games be much bigger than that.
Except for 7.5 last year against the Cowboys.
Yeah,
Craig,
last
you
year's
just
was
made my
bigger.
point for me.
Like, Craig,
you just
the Bills Broncos line is bigger. I mean
sure,
there's a bunch of lines that are bigger.
This team.
You just made my point for me with Jason in the last segment. I said fans are basing their belief on winning this game on what they did last year, not what they did this year. Last year has nothing to do. You're only as good as your last game. That was the saying in the league. You know, that's why you watch film and you let it go.
The Eagles
and I
just gave
agree
up
with you. The
36
Bears
points
game.
the Eagles just gave up 36 points to the Commanders. I mean,
in a preseason
the
game,
reason
man.
the Packers would lose this game, by the way, in my opinion, is more because the Eagles have a really good defense. And the Eagles' defense has been scary throughout this year.
Did you
But
look
I
at
think
the
they've
inactive
shown-
list for the Eagles? It was basically a preseason game, man.
He's talking about the
against the Commanders, right?
Yeah.
Gabe, maybe Craig hasn't seen your list also that you have compiled of the times that the Packers defense this year has let them down. Even though, again, they are considered a top-tier defense, if you go based on the statistics, if you go based on the rankings, Packers are top 10 in almost all categories. You were able to pull how many instances where the defense, backs against the wall, could not get a stop?
So there were 9 times throughout the course of the regular season where late in the game, either they're down a score or they're up a score, and they have an opportunity to get a stop and either get the ball back or get a stop and win the game. They came through, Craig, on 2 of those instances. Against the Colts and Rams. They failed against the Eagles, against the Texans, against the Jags, twice against the Bears, against Detroit, and against Minnesota.
Okay.
So that does nothing for you? Like those are just cold hard facts about how this defense isn't as good as some of the numbers
And if you're pointing at history,
Do you know
last
how good
season
their
as
field
an
goal
indicator
kicker is? Do you know how clutch their field goal kicker is? Has anybody watched?
Yes, and we
Has
talked about
anybody
how
watched?
it feels like the one area of the field where the Packers may have an advantage is their specialists.
We start talking about Daniel Whelan, I swear to God, Josh, we got to hang up.
You're
right?
out. You're out.
Craig.
It's a weapon.
Chewy,
Craig, which
have you
team
ever
has-
seen have you ever seen a guy kick these 55-yard field goals as if they're like extra points?
No, it looks like it looks like they got it right. It looks like they got it right. But let me ask you this: which team has a better chance at winning a championship this year, Bucs or Packers?
The Packers do not have one, by the way. The Packers have no chance to win the championship.
Jeez, what are we doing?
I'm saying the Packers aren't going to string
What just
3
happened
wins
in the last 20 minutes?
The Packers are not going to string 3 wins in a row to get to the Super Bowl, but the Packers could beat the Eagles.
Yes,
This
they
isn't
could. I want to be
2010.
very clear,
This
Craig. I want to be
isn't
very clear.
2010. They're not going on the road 3 straight times and winning.
Everyone here on this show, Craig, has said the Packers could beat the Eagles. Everyone has said that at one point, at various
then why
points.
are you thinking I'm crazy town for saying that they're going to beat the Eagles?
Because the reasons that you're giving us for them being the better team, or the reasons that you think, I want to be very clear because we're getting a lot of pushback here in the YouTube comments about us hating the Packers, about us being negative Nancy's and stuff. I think we are being very objective about this team. I think we are saying here.
The objective things show, Jen, the ESPN's matchup predictor has the Packers at 48.8% to win the game. Like, that's a coin toss.
I like where I stand.
I think Craig made a lot of good points.
Okay. All right. All right. Josh, you got a little something brown on the nose, bud. Wipe it off.
Are you angling for a promotion? Trying to get off this show? I would understand it given the last 20 minutes that we've had here on the
If you
show.
say something nice about the Packers, you get kicked off the show?
No. That's not. Again,
That's what it is, Craig.
we have said plenty of nice things about the Packers. We would all like, everybody, who would like to see the Packers win this weekend against the Eagles? Show of hands.
Well, better for
Will back there, you got an opinion on this? Okay, show of hands. We would all like to see the Packers win. That's on the record. But when we look at this team objectively, the issue is they have been clunking their way through the end of the season. The Eagles, I don't know where you're getting this idea that they are disjointed, da-da-da-da-da. Like, you're buying that narrative hook, line, and sinker, and I just don't think that it's as strong as you think it is. They still have a very good running back. They still have a very good defense. I still think that they are a better team. Could the Packers fall into a victory? Could they do everything right? They would have to play a perfect game, in my opinion, to beat the Eagles. Is that possible? Yes. I hope everybody hears me loud and clear saying this. I just don't think it is likely.
Yes, exactly. Well said, Jen. And Craig, you don't pay us to be cheerleaders. There's plenty of other shows that do that. Okay, you don't pay us to be You know what you pay us to do? Be right.
I pay
That's
you
why
to
you pay us to be right.
Okay, Chewy, buddy. Like, I was with you, then you went a little too far.
Drop that.
Let's.
I pay you all to entertain, which you do all the time, and you do a fantastic job.
Did you, Craig, I know you listen occasionally and when you can, did you hear this week about how Chewy accidentally sent his son a text talking about his mom's butt?
And that I did not hear, but that is what I pay Chewy for. I'm very clear on that.
Good.
Craig,
I wanted to make sure we were all on the
It's
same.
nice. It's nice.
Wait, your mom's butt is?
Not his mom's.
No, not my mom.
What are we doing?
Bye, Craig.
What are we doing?
See?
How did this happen?
All right, I gotta go through TSA pre-check. All right, bye, guys.
All right, bye.
Woof. If I smoked, I would take a cigarette right now, you guys.
If anybody's got a flask, I'll take it.
That was a wild ride.
Chewy ended that segment. X-Golf located at American Family Field. It's open year-round, which means you can be working on your game right now. It's cold. It's going to be snowy. Who cares? You can still get those swings in at X-Golf at American Family Field. Beautiful location inside the ballpark, overlooking the field. It is a unique space like you've never seen. Plus, they've got a great full bar and menu. I like the burger. If you got a couple friends there, I would recommend the pan pizza that they have out there. Really good. But also, maybe this is the offseason you decide, you know what, I need to work on my swing. I need to get a lesson. My guy, Andy Barrett, out there is going to be able to give you lessons at X-Golf at American Family Field. Book your sim. Find out more. xgolfamfamfield.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
We do have an accident southbound on 43, right about at Daphne. This is right near Nicolay. It's off on the left shoulder now, so you should be able to get past it, but we do have squads on the scene, so just give them a little bit of extra room. Beyond that, we got slowdowns from south of Capitol Drive down towards North Avenue. Northbound 4394 slowing down from Holt Avenue up past Oklahoma. Eastbound 94 is backed up from 70th Street all the way to about 27th Street. Westbound 27th to Mitchell Boulevard. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, chance for light snow, freezing drizzle, up to a half-inch possible with afternoon flurries, a high of 30. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 18. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Kevin Moret for Mentality. Guys, carrying extra weight around your midsection doesn't just make you feel bad, it changes how people see you. It makes you look tired, stuck, and feel like you've given up. But it's not you. Low testosterone is often the real problem. Most new Mentality clients start with only 1/3 of the free testosterone they need, which makes fat almost impossible to lose. Our doctors fix the imbalance and use semaglutide to burn the belly fat while keeping you lean and strong. Take back control this year. Visit mentalityhealth.com/radio for our New Year offer. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold Karmazin in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Karmazin is there. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and gluten-free. Karmazin features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Karmazin. Less is more.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Tri-City National Bank offers a full suite of personal and business banking products at 28 convenient locations. Open your account today at the community bank that was voted Milwaukee's best bank. Learn more at tcnb.com.
The Packers will not be entering the playoffs this year with the same offensive momentum as they did last year. Over the last 3 games of the regular season, Jordan Love and backup Malik Willis averaged a combined passer rating of 85, completion percentage of 60%, and just 2 touchdowns. Despite the struggles, Love, who was a full participant in practice on Thursday, has confidence in the offense going into Sunday's wildcard matchup with the Eagles.
It's playoffs, it's 0-0, so who cares about the record? I really think we have to be confident. You can't go in the playoffs with lacking that confidence because you'll get beat. We have one shot at this thing.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank.
Family's bigger? Out of space? We can help you find a new place. Just make Tri-City your first call. We're here to help, loan large or small. Tri-City National Bank, equal housing lender, NMLS 433891.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. Kyle Brust and Nortman. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Look, you already seem to understand what we get distracted with when we go into the bathroom. So, yeah, sometimes the garbage slips the mind.
Nice set of Hooters you got there.
I beg your pardon? How can I be thinking about the garbage when I got some Hooters on my mind?
The owls, they're beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Are you a bird lover?
Me? Oh, no. Well, I used to have a parakeet.
Just out of curiosity, what percentage are Hooters on your mind? Is it like 60% of your downtime? Is it
Depends
higher?
on the day.
But now my main area of expertise is canines. Dogs, to the layperson.
Thanks. I love dogs too. So how are you involved with them?
Oh, I've trained them, bathed them, clipped them. I've even bred them.
Any unusual breeding?
No, mostly just doggy style.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamora. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth.
People are big mad on the YouTube stream, gang. BIGMAD. Packers Outsider. So you can't have a single shred of optimism without being called delusional. Fun world we live in. Angel saying, crazy how everyone thinks the Eagles are this juggernaut team. They are good, but definitely beatable. He continues by saying, y'all think the Packers are bums. Top 10 defense and offense. For the record, since listening comprehension seems to be at an all-time low, we don't think the Packers are bums. We don't think the Packers are a bad team. We think the Packers are a good team. We think the Packers have underperformed this season, have not played to their potential, and have struggled against teams that they needed to beat in order to be considered a great team, which Chewy has reminded us is who wins Super Bowls and who wins playoff games. Great teams make runs. Could the Packers beat the Eagles? A resounding yes from the panel. Do we think they will? A resounding no from everybody except Josh DiMaggio. Joshy looked at me and was like, hey, get this right. You better get this right.
You can call me Joshy comment section for the rest of the day because I'm joining the YouTube commenters and the texters for the rest of the day.
That's fine.
Chew, is that an accurate and fair way to articulate our position here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy?
Yeah, you can't fight with toads, because they can't see past their nose, which is fine. They're fans. You have that right. But like I said, I want to be right. I want to be right. And that's why I picked the Eagles to win. They're a better team all around. They're playing at home, one of the toughest places to play in the National Football League. Packers are not hot. They're not playing hot. You cannot base your prediction for this game on something they did 18 games ago. You just can't do that. That's not how it works, people. Okay? When we went into Dallas all those years, probably to a man, we were like, we have to play the absolutely perfect game. The ball has to go our way. We have to win the turnover margin by a good number, and then we'll win. That's exactly what this game is on Sunday. You line up head-to-head, they're going to beat you. You don't get breaks, they're going to beat you. If the Packers play great and the Eagles don't, Packers will win. That's how it works. That's how it works. So if you're not going to buy into that, I can't do anything for you, okay? But once again, I'll say it, this isn't a cheerleader show. We're not cheerleaders. You need a cheerleader show to feel bad. This is an analyst show. We give you what we think. We hope we're wrong.
I've already told you, bud.
Narrator.
What should I say
this is
instead of
not an analyst show.
I mean, I don't know, man, but you try.
This is a life coach show.
You're trying to tell us this is an analyst show. You tried to tell Craig that he pays you to be right. This is.
What a misstep that was.
Yeah.
We're a life coach
we get
show.
Paid to
That's
be
what
right.
we're here to help you.
I think that we're paid to entertain. That's what we are paid for.
Help us help you.
Gabe?
You didn't help yourself. We're trying to go after Craig because he placed a bet on the Packers, and then you say something more delusional that you get paid to be right.
Here's an interesting thing to me that I've discovered is Gabe and I have very similar feelings on this Packers team. Our expectations were actually the same. NFC Championship game is probably the ceiling. But I think I've approached it very different, and it seems like to the rest of the room, where it seems like people are feeling you aren't positive enough, even though you're saying, yes, we can win. Yes, they're better than they were. Yes, there's all these signs pointing there, and I don't know how we can more effectively communicate that, because every time we get on and talk about it, it's like, hey, everyone, the Packers stink, and that's not what any of you guys mean.
No, I've pointed out a lot of things that have happened in games this year that would prevent them. Like, if they repeat some of those mistakes that I have pointed out, like, again, famously going back to the Seahawks game that everybody loved. If you have a stretch of what they did in the start of that second half, you're not going to win this game against the Eagles. You have to avoid that. And honestly, in order to win this game, I also did some digging on Love, by the way. Like, he was playing just so much better football last year at this point in the last 8 games going in. It's just, it's astounding to me how much better he was a year ago. And he's still playing fine now. It's just he was so much hotter a year ago.
Well, give us the metrics. What did you crunch? You got some numbers there.
Last 8 games, last year, 70.3% completion, 2,150 yards, 18 touchdowns, and an interception. Also had 2 rushing TDs. This year, 65.4% completion. That's down 5%. 1,569 yards, which is down, roughly 600 yards. 10 touchdowns, down 8. Same number of interceptions, just the one. 55 rushes and a touchdown. Like, he's not playing as well. He's not as sharp.
You do have to factor in how much different the offensive attack is. It's much more as good as Aaron Jones was those final 2 games in the regular season.
Final 3.
I'm saying into the postseason, wasn't it?
So 3 games in the regular season, because it was 5 games in a row with 100 yards or more.
I do think. I mean, Josh Jacobs has scored a touchdown in how many of
8? Is it 8 or 9?
8 straight games.
Yeah. Which I don't think anyone on the offense was doing that last year. I haven't looked up those numbers. But I do think there is a little bit of that you have to factor in. And I think that's what's discouraging to people, because you didn't mention, with that, obviously, the run game is better.
Well,
sure,
again, but we've talked about this.
But still, like with Jordan last year, in that stretch, like, he still threw for over 250 yards. Like, in games. Okay, so you can so he's not going to throw for 300 yards because the run game's so good. It has to be better than 185, 182, 206.
And Jordan was playing at a high level, and in some ways, as we talk about all the time, him in the passing game being as elite as it was opened up opportunities for Aaron Jones. This year's team feels, unfortunately, more one-dimensional, and part of that is the absence of Christian Watson. So it is going to be a different-looking offense than we have seen when they have had their full gamut of talent out there offensively. But I keep saying to you guys, if you're the Eagles and you have one of the best defenses in the league, and the Packers have Josh Jacobs, and the goal is to take away what they do well, that's what they're going to go after first, guys, because thus far, Jordan Love hasn't shown that he and his pass catchers can pick up that slack. And when you take Christian Watson out of the mix and the ability to stretch the field, you become so much more one-dimensional. Again, assuming they take away Josh Jacobs. And that's where I just start getting pessimistic. That's where I start getting realistic, I think, about how this offense is going to look on Sunday against the Eagles.
The one big thing I've noticed is different. You mentioned it was the completion percentage. Jordan's accuracy not as good as it was last year at this point of the season. Also, do you remember Romeo Doubs just running wide open like 4 times against the Cowboys? And I feel like I haven't seen one of those, like, in terms of play calling.
Well, but I also feel that goes back to what Jen was talking about in the different running style they have this year. I honestly think it's kind of harder for them. A staple of this play. How many times did we see before Josh Jacobs got here? And again, this is not a criticism. This is just an observation. Before Josh Jacobs was the Packers' main running back, they would run the stretch play, trying to stretch out. And all of a sudden, the quarterback boots out left, and there's the tight end, little flip pass to the tight end, and nobody's on that side of the field, and it's an easy 12 to 14 yards. Like, that play has been missing, and they haven't, for whatever reason, been able to marry the success that Josh Jacobs has had into a lot more success with the passing game. They just haven't been able to marry those two things together the way they married Aaron Jones's success with the pass game a year ago.
Plus, they had 2 hang-your-hat wins. So they had confidence. You beat the Super Bowl champs, and then you beat Detroit.
You beat the division champs. Yep.
You haven't had a hang-your-hat win, and you had 2 of them. And let me tell you what, confidence is huge going into the playoffs. It's absolutely huge. So
a huge
element.
element.
Fake confidence. Yeah, you can't fake confidence. You either have it or you don't.
Well, and that was the more crazy thing. One of the more crazy things that Craig said, which was they beat the teams they were supposed to beat. At some point, you're supposed to beat the teams in your division as well.
But until they didn't, because they were supposed to beat the Bears.
Excellent point.
Yes.
We got to take a break. We have Adam Schefter coming up next. Adam Schefter, of course, will give us a spin around the league and tell us what he thinks about the Packers' chances in the game against the Eagles this weekend. Stick around.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
We do have an accident southbound on 43, right about at Daphne. This is right near Nicolay. It's off on the left shoulder now, so you should be able to get past it, but we do have squads on the scene, so just give them a little bit of extra room. Beyond that, we got slowdowns from south of Capitol Drive down towards North Avenue. Northbound 4394 slowing down from Holt Avenue up past Oklahoma. Eastbound 94 is backed up from 70th Street all the way to about 27th Street. Westbound 27th to Mitchell Boulevard. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, chance for light snow, freezing drizzle, up to a half-inch possible with afternoon flurries, a high of 30. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 18. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you could win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
We're getting crushed out here. What's going on with you, Nick? You used to be the unstoppable king of flag football.
I'm feeling my age. At 40, I feel like I can't keep up anymore.
Is it lower testosterone?
Lower T?
Yeah. When you turn 40, you have less testosterone. It's harder to stay lean and get the same results you used to get. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I know Nugenix. It really gives you an edge.
No question. At work, the gym, the bedroom, Nugenix turned back the clocks. Now I've got the same energy that I did in my 20s.
I want to try Nugenix.
All right, time out. Guys, go text Nugenix and get yourselves a complimentary bottle to try.
Text AREA to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check that your guests like spicy first before serving atomic hot wings.
Who's hungry?
Oh my gosh. What are these?
You don't like them? Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Water.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Something amazing is happening at work. Innovative tools are helping people do better work. That's because CDW configuration specialists are multiplying productivity with Microsoft Windows 11 Pro Surface devices. Built-in security, flexibility, and simplified management streamline tasks so your team can get more done. Microsoft and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/surface.
Stay up to date on the green and gold all season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee. Everyone's go-to source for all NFL news.
And we're going to get right to some breaking news here that just came down. This tweet from Adam Schefter.
Adam's on the phone. Adam, you have more news? What do you got?
They're going with another move, and he was the man who knows all, Adam Schefter.
It's ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
It's always hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. It just is. I wouldn't be surprised if they meet again, and I wouldn't be surprised if Green Bay is in that game and Green Bay has a chance to win that game.
Adam Schefter on JGC is sponsored by Island Resort and Casino. Gaming, casual, and fine dining. 2 golf courses, a luxury spa, and live entertainment. Your total experience is at the Island.
Our chat's with Adam Schefter, brought to you by Island Resort and Casino. Premier resort destination, largest north of Milwaukee, with everything you like to do in one awesome location. Visit islandresortandcasino.com and book your total experience today.
Adam Schefter, good morning, happy Friday. How are you doing today?
Hello, everybody. How are we doing today?
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I'm sorry about your dog. I'm really sorry that happened. That's a really tough thing to deal with, and we appreciate you taking the time today to join us in light of that. We are getting crushed this morning, Adam, by some of our loyal listeners who I think understand the show but are mishearing us. We do not think the Packers are a bad team. We do not think they are a bunch of bums. We actually think they're a good team, as evidenced by the fact that they are in the postseason and have won a lot of games this year. However, we do feel like they are going to get rolled this weekend or lose this weekend to the Philadelphia Eagles. Is there anything you could tell us that would change our minds in that space?
Yeah, we had this debate yesterday. Again, it's a tough matchup, and Philly's a really good team, okay? But if you remember last year, the Packers were underdogs in the wild card round by 7.5 points in Dallas. And they went in there and rolled the Cowboys, an NFC East team. Now, I think they're 4.5-point underdogs to another NFC East team. So the odds makers actually give the Packers a better chance this year than they gave them last year when the Packers rolled the Dallas Cowboys. How's that for just a little bit of hope there, Jen?
Chew, would you care
Adam,
to respond?
Got anything from this year?
Adam, you will agree because I believe you were there when Denver was the wild card when we played them in '97, and that was a big spread, and they steamrolled us. And the reason why they did that is because they were hot. The Packers have lost the last 2 games, have not looked good. They lost their best receiver. They lost their best corner. I mean, it's different than last year because they had 2 marquee wins. They beat Kansas City, the eventual Super Bowl champion at home, and then they beat Detroit. They don't have a hang-your-hat win this year, and that's why we don't think they're going to win.
That's fair. I understand that. I understand the skepticism and the doubts, and I think it's much better for a team to head into the postseason with good wins, convincing wins, rather than 2 losses. That's not how you want to go into the postseason. Is Christian Watson their best receiver? I don't know. You tell me. I mean, he's their best deep threat, right? Like, is he their best receiver? You tell me.
He was their most productive receiver since the bye before his injury. Nearly 77 yards per game.
And I know, Jair, that's obviously a loss too. So it's 2 key players. Like whether Christian Watson's their best receiver or not, he's a key player. He's a really good player. It's hard. Like it's not going to be a good match. They're going to have to go in there and get like 3 turnovers and get like a big special teams play. One of those kind of games, right? Where all of a sudden you get contributions in ways that you don't always get. That certain elements, aspects, units come through that you really need. Like they can't go in there and lose the turnover battle and win the game. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Adam, when it comes to a lot of these head coaching openings, we talked to you throughout the course of the season. Were you surprised that there are only 6 openings, 3 after the season ended? And then were you surprised at all in the manner in which it happened? Like the Patriots doing it immediately on Sunday, and then we see the Raiders waiting a couple of days before they fire their coach and then wait a couple more days before firing their GM.
Look, these things, this is a wild league. And I'm not going to explain, how each team operates. Everybody's different. Every owner's different. Every group's different. We've got 6 so far. By the way, like, we still don't know exactly what's going to happen in Dallas. That's still unsettled. That's a potential 7th, whether it happens or not. And then the idea is there going to be a playoff team that crashes and burns that all of a sudden makes a coaching change that we didn't see coming? I just raised it because it's happened before.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm not saying it will happen. Chances are it won't, but it has. So we're sitting on 6 changes. There's a potential 7th in Dallas. There's a potential 7th in the postseason. We don't know. But if it's, by the way, I'd be very happy if it stopped at 6. Like, that's enough. It's enough. We don't need any more.
Stop at 6?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Is there a chance, Adam, that the NFL ever looks at, and the Packers haven't been affected this year, but teams are affected. Even if you are a team like Brian Flores, for example, saying he's going to accept any and all interviews. Like that's got to be really hard to compartmentalize if you're an OC, DC, if you're getting all this attention for head coaching jobs while also still prepare your team to the best of your ability for a postseason game. I know it's really hard to do, but has the NFL ever talked about trying to change the timeline and wait for all of this? You can fire your coach now, but no interviews, no requesting until after teams are done and you're out of the postseason.
Well, this has always been a huge issue. You're talking about coaches that have worked their entire life to put themselves in a position to become a head coach and finally have that opportunity. And it comes at a time where they're preparing for the biggest games of a season in which it became possible for them to achieve the biggest goals of their life. Like they all come together all at once. And it's unfortunate, but that's how it's always been. And the league has tried to revise the rules and slow down the process. And it's never simple, easy, or truly clean. There's no way. Like, again, the Lions have a bye. They have a bye. So they're preparing for their divisional playoff game, and it's not as hectic and hairy, but it's still, there's a certain degree of intensity. Like Aaron Glenn with the Jets last night, the Saints this morning, the Raiders this afternoon, the Jaguars tomorrow morning, the Bears tomorrow night. How much work do you think he's getting done for the divisional playoff game?
Not much.
Ben Johnson with the Patriots this morning, the Raiders this afternoon, the Bears tomorrow morning, the Jaguars tomorrow. How much work he getting done in the next 2 days for next week? But you know what? In all honesty, these guys have earned that right. That's their right. The hard part is the guys that are in the playoffs now. Brian Flores, Liam Cohn, Kellen Moore. I'm just thinking of other guys like that. Spagnuolo in a similar position got 3 interviews today. Again, the league has just changed the process to where it's slowed it down. And it used to be, I'm just telling you, I've covered the league for 35 years. And maybe you remember this, Chewy, but it used to be that by divisional playoff weekend, most of the head coach openings were filled because there was a sprint. There was a sprint from the time the regular season ended to get the interviews done, to get the guys hired, to get them hired so you could start hiring the assistant coaches and get the assistant coaches you wanted before someone else got those assistant coaches. And it used to be that the hirings were done by the divisional playoff round in general. And now you can't even meet with guys face-to-face until after the divisional playoff round. So it's slowed down all the way around.
Adam, I saw that Jalen Hurts is still in the concussion protocol, but he was a full participant in practice. How does that work? You have to be a full participant in order to clear the concussion protocol? Is that like the final frontier? Is that the final step? And you think he'll be rusty, having not played for all these weeks? Again, clinging to some hope that perhaps the Packers can find a way to win this game.
Yeah, I think there'll be a little bit of rust. I think maybe they'll ramp up the game plan as it goes along. You know, it's not the way you want to head into the postseason, and maybe there's some hope there for the Green Bay Packers. You just don't know how Jalen's going to come out, if he's going to be rusty, and maybe they can get an early pick or a fumble or something to that effect. But yeah, no, I think there'll be effect, but I think it's only a matter of time before he's right back into the flow of the game. That'd be my guess. But we'll see what happens on Sunday.
Adam, if the Eagles do lose, would Sirianni be on the chopping block with all the drama that happened early in the season between his relationship with Hurts and himself?
Here's what I would say, Chewy. I would say any coach who has a bad playoff loss, questions are going to come up. You could apply it in a lot of places. Right? Like, do I look at Nick Sirianni in trouble today? No. Do I think that if all of a sudden the Packers go in there and smack the Eagles, that fans are going to be calling? Of course, that's going to happen, right? Like, that's Like, remember last year the Packers went into Dallas. They smacked around the Cowboys, and even on the broadcast, Greg Olson's defending Mike McCarthy. Remember that?
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what when you lose big playoff games, people are upset. And that's why I say there's always the possibility that there could be a surprise, unexpected playoff firing that we're not talking and thinking about now that always could come into play if a team lays an egg in the postseason. You pick the place.
What do you think is going to happen with McCarthy?
I think they're going to try to figure it out. I think you'd like to think that they'll figure out a way to get it done. I don't think it's a given, and it could go either which way. I mean, but here's what I would say. You're the Cowboys, and you deny permission for him to talk to the Bears. You can't do it. Not allowed. Like, why would you do that if you don't have some intent on trying to get a deal done with the guy? Like, that makes no sense, right? Like, if you have no intent on getting a deal, good. Then you know what, Mike? Thank you for everything. This team called. Let's see if we can get it work out. But you can go talk to them. But they didn't do that. And he can talk to them next week anyway if he wants, if there's no deal in place.
So at halftime of which game is Jerry going to announce that he has a deal with McCarthy? Because he's going to do it. He's going to do it. If it happens, it's happening this weekend during the game so the Cowboys can get in the news cycle while everybody's watching football, right?
I mean, what I would say that they're always in the news cycle. Like, we don't need to get a deal done.
Yeah, because Jerry does stuff like this to make sure they're in the news cycle.
But look, their recent pattern has been no rush. Dak gets a deal done on the opening day of the season. CeeDee Lamb gets a deal done later in the summer. They don't rush to do these things. They get them done when they have to get them done. And the time to get a deal done with Mike McCarthy, if they're going to get it done, would be this week and early next week. So they're on the clock.
Adam, we appreciate you hanging out with us. I think one of the more interesting things that you mentioned there was that if the Eagles were to lose to the Packers, that would be considered a bad loss for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Just like,
it would, right?
Yeah.
Extrapolate what you will, Packers fans, from that information. Extrapolate what you will from that statement. Adam, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Have a great one.
Jen, let me extrapolate. They're the home favorites. The Eagles have had a great season. Right? Like, any loss at home to anybody, that's not a shot at the Packers.
No, but I'm trying to say, like, again, I think that there are Packers fans out there who believe that the Packers are on the same tier as the Eagles, and I would make the argument that if they were on the same tier and the Packers went in there and beat the Eagles, it wouldn't be considered a bad loss. Yeah. Even if it's at home, even with the seeding shaking out as it is, I think it is a referendum on just the gap between the Eagles and the Packers right now. That's all.
I would also would say there have been times this season where the Packers have played at the Eagles level. They haven't done it recently. It's up to them to go do it this weekend.
We're just trying to take heat off of us and throw it onto you, Adam. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Will you be our shield?
Let's just say it for what it is, right?
I've had a crappy enough week. Leave me alone, man.
Yeah.
That's not what I was trying to do at all, but I feel like we have to present a unified front, so my bad, Adam. Have a great one. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Adam Schefter and our conversations with him each and every week, brought to you by the Island Resort and Casino, a premier resort destination, the largest north of Milwaukee, with everything you like to do in one awesome location. Visit islandresortandcasino.com and book your total experience today.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Backups on westbound 94 because of an accident right at the ramp from 70th Street. It's off on the right shoulder, so you're seeing delays coming out of the stadium interchange. There's still an accident reported on southbound 43 right about at Daphne. Looks like most of it's gone if it hasn't already pulled away. The rest of the system is looking pretty good. Just got some snow coming down, so you want to be extra careful. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Like I mentioned, snow, light chance of snow, possible freezing drizzle up to a half inch possible with some afternoon flurries. A high of 30. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 18. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
I'm Dr. Jasmine Zapata, Chief Medical Officer for Community Health at the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. Every year in the U.S., about 21,000 lung cancer deaths are caused by radon, an odorless, tasteless, and colorless gas. 1 in 10 Wisconsin homes has high levels of radon. Does yours? Call 1-888-LOW-RADON or visit lowradon.org to learn more. Test, fix, save a life.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Whether you are a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit our great city of Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Hey, maybe you got friends coming in from out of town. St. Kate the Arts Hotel is ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee with deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music. You and your friends will enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com. Hey, this is ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta. Guys, let's talk about something important. You. Taking care of your health and appearance isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling strong, confident, and ready to take on the world. At Quintessa Aesthetic Center, they make it easy. With experts in advanced skincare, body contouring, and anti-aging treatments, Quintessa is here to help you stay sharp and at your best. Trust me, when you look good, you feel even better. So why wait? Visit myquintessa.com and take the first step towards a more confident you.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's time for the Ortho ASAP Minute from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
I'm here with Dr. Daniel Holub at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doctor, let's say someone is feeling some pain. That pain, it just will not go away. What's the next thing that person should do?
Get an appointment with one of the specialists at Orthopedic Associates, and we will work through that problem with you.
In your position, you help people get rid of pain. You help them be able to move and be active again. How rewarding is it for you to really see someone regain a certain quality of life?
That's got to be the best part of my job, is seeing somebody that's been struggling either for a short time with a fresh injury or a long time with a degenerative condition, and being able to find a proper solution for them, whether it's just a rehabilitation process or if it's a surgical process, and watching them over the course of weeks to months improve to the point of enjoying life again.
The Ortho ASAP Minute is sponsored by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I don't know which is which, but here's what I do.
Yes, all right.
I take the plus and I put it to the plus. I take the minus and I put it to the minus.
Yeah, but the jacker things don't have that.
Yeah, they do.
Where?
Sure do. On the handles.
What's a jacker thing? Is it something that your wife keeps in the drawer?
He meant jumper cables.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, you can enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. It's ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee. Deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music, so you can enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
Think you know the show better than the average ESPN Milwaukee fan? Now's your chance to prove it. It's time to play The Week in Reach You.
Pretty excited about this. Haven't gotten to play Week in Reach You in quite some time. So, guys, what do you got?
We've got 5 questions for you, big guy. All things you said throughout the course of the week, and we quiz you on how well you remember things you said. 5 questions. Get 3 right, you win. Get 3 wrong, you lose. You've never swept or been swept yourself. So you've never gotten 5 right. You've never gotten 5 wrong. So it always ends up being pretty tight at the end. Are you ready to play, Chew?
Yes.
Question 1 starts with the audio.
For people to apologize to me and Gabe for being called Debbie Downers. That's all I want.
What were your other 2 demands that went with the apology from the fans?
This feels tough.
It's got to be someone to be fired. No?
No, it was not.
Well, then I have no idea.
Packers win on Sunday, and it warms up in Florida. You wanted a Packers win, warm in Florida, and for an apology.
I'm freezing. Yeah. I don't remember that, though.
Also, part of it is inherently contradictory because if they win, nobody's going to be apologizing to you guys on Monday.
All right, off to a rough start. Went 3 and out on the first drive. Let's see if we can score on this one. Who were you talking about in this clip?
Stop dressing like you're 22 years old. Dress like you're the age you are.
That's
Edwin
correct.
Korn.
That's correct.
Yes.
Evan Cohen, host of Unsportsmanlike.
You know what, though? And I don't want to take him out, but I'm kind of going to. He's sensitive. Would you guys agree with that?
You know the approach that Joshy took during our conversation with Craig Karmazin earlier today? I'm going to follow that lead on Evan.
Gabe. You haven't had my back this week, and it's a little disappointing. It is a little disappointing.
I've had
No,
your back.
Jen, did he call me out big time yesterday or the day before?
For what?
No. It was more
Josh.
about how other people were slow versus like you.
Pretty sure that's a takeout.
It was a takeout of the other guy.
It took you out at the knees.
Do you know how many times he has mentioned this week that you had 100 in Madden? At least twice. That is not somebody who is taking you out. That is somebody who is lifting you up.
Jen, that's called suck-up mode.
The only time I did not have your back is when you said Evan was in his 50s. That is the only time I have not had your back this week.
And Craig employs us to be right.
Well, yeah. Well, that was just, I was just having I had his back there just to correct him so he doesn't lose his job. So Craig then changes his mind to go, yeah, I should pay Chewy because he's right. And then Chewy's out of a job.
Are we really here to entertain?
Oh, somebody didn't get the objective
I
manual.
I have your back here, Chew, but you're not letting me have your back.
But
it's because it comes so natural.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Joshy. Look at you and me in lockstep. That's exactly. It's all subconscious.
He's never known he's doing it. He's been doing it for a decade plus, man.
All right, can we continue?
Entertain to me is like fake in a movie and stuff like that. We're not fake. We're real.
That's why it's so good, Chew.
Yeah. All right,
let's keep it
Moving
going.
on.
Okay, so you're 1-1. Pivotal game 3 right now starts with the audio clip.
Once again, information that would have helped me earlier.
What is the information
Jen said
that would have
something.
been helpful this weekend? What was the information that would have been helpful specifically this weekend?
Oh, is it about the
Something
text?
Jen said. What, the butt?
Doing
was
the
Why
something
would
she
anything about
said.
the butt been helpful?
He just wanted to say it.
Because you can tell how I rank the... No, I won't go there.
Okay.
I don't think he knows it.
It was something that Jen said, though. I remember that.
Do you remember what you told him that made him react like that, Jen?
I thought it was about the text, that he could look up at the top and see that there were more people than just the one recipient on the text. That's what I thought it was.
No, it's that you can delete sent text messages.
Yes.
You guys gotta show me how to do that.
Now, when you're back here, we'll give you
useful.
the tutorial.
0% chance he remembers to ask.
I'll remember to
yeah.
show him. I mean, he's not going to remember after I teach him, but I'll remember to show him at least.
Okay.
So he'll be armed with the information. All right, big guy.
It's not going well.
You got to get the last two right
No.
to win this week. Question 4 starts with the audio.
Might have been his best movie.
Jeez.
Who was the comedy actor that you were referencing in that clip?
Will Ferrell, The Campaign.
He knew the movie as well. Good
Yeah.
job, Chew.
Extra credit.
You wish.
He should get this one.
All right. Can you stay hot and win this week by answering this question correctly? Let's start with the audio.
This is, you know what? You know how they win the game? Other than turnovers?
How do the Packers win on Sunday?
I believe I said 2 C players have to play like 8 players, which is pretty much what Adam said.
Okay, that's not what you said in this specific instance.
He did say that,
He did say that throughout the course of the week.
To be fair, he said this other thing way more.
Okay.
Give it to me one more time. This is, you know what? You know how they win the game? Other than turnovers? Coaching?
Oh, you're close.
Yeah, I nailed it.
You're going to give it to him? Out coaches Sirianni.
That counts.
That's a victory there, buddy.
That could be a sign because I was getting worked early and then battled my way back, and McManus hit a 52-yard field goal.
I feel like we had to wrap our arms around you and drag you into the end zone with us.
But that counts as a touchdown.
But it still counts as a touchdown.
On the Chewy graded curve, that's a win.
Of course it is.
What are you saying?
And that's a compliment. No, don't read it. Don't you hear it any other way, big guy. Don't you hear that any other way than it building you up once again. Guys, what are we doing? What are we doing?
He only gets mad when I don't have his back.
Potawatomi Sportsbook is upping its game in a major move for all the sports bettors out there. You can use your Potawatomi rewards card at most self-service kiosks. Gosh darn it. I forgot that last night when I made my bet for the team that won the game to win the game.
I'll be there tomorrow morning doing a extra edition of the Weekly Wager with Alex Strofe. So you need to be put in the bet. I got you.
All right, let me think about it. I got to give you my rewards card, though, because that's the point. You can bet on your favorite sports and earn reward points along the way. Now, that is a winning play. Bet above the rest. Learn more at paysbig.com/sportsbook.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
This game is on that network, that game is on this network, and all with different subscriptions. But you know where you can always catch every game this playoff season? The Potawatomi Sportsbook. Hey, it's Jen Latta. I'm here with Sarah Neubauer from Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Let's talk about this sportsbook and everything it has to offer, Sarah.
Yeah, we're constantly airing pretty much every sport over at Potawatomi Sportsbook. So, of course, we're going to have the playoff games. College playoffs are going on, so those are airing too. And we can be your hub for it all. Plus, we have more than just a freakishly large LED screen. We also have delicious food and live betting.
Yeah, I agree. I'm over at the Sportsbook every Wednesday in the broadcast booth for our live weekly wager show. Your 2,000 square foot screen is perfect because you guys are showing more than 30 games at one time. That's how big it is. And fans will never miss a play.
Exactly.
And the food. Tell us about the food, Sarah.
You won't go hungry. We have a restaurant dedicated to our Sportsbook guests called The Kitchen. It's not just typical bar food. It's top-tier pub grub. There's all-day brunch, including chicken and waffles, appetizers like bison chili waffle fries, crispy calamari, and much more. There's wings and fried chicken dinners, soups, salads, burgers, and sandwiches. And did you know that all of our burgers are 10 ounces of blended brisket, chuck, and short rib, and our Philly sandwich comes with shaved Vienna beef.
Okay, now I'm salivating. Well, if you need any more reasons to check out the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and I think we gave you about 20, don't forget you can build your parlays ahead of time and reserve a table by heading to the Sportsbook website. And what is that website again, Sarah?
Paysbig.com/sportsbook.
Paysbig.com/sportsbook.
Stay up to date on the green and gold all season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Join the roar of 18,000 Bucks fans at Fiserv Forum and be a part of the slam dunks, game-changing plays, and electrifying victories live. Witness the edge-of-your-seat action and unforgettable moments as they happen. You don't want to miss this. Grab your calendar, handpick your favorite matchups, and secure your seats for Dame time in Milwaukee and every incredible moment that comes next at Bucks.com/tickets. That's Bucks.com/tickets.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Want that mirror finish on your car? You need Z-Gloss by Z-Bart. Z-Gloss is a 3-layer ceramic coating that not only gives your car that mirror finish, it protects it from everything that Mother Nature can throw at it. Visit zbart.com for more information.
The Packers' 11-game winning streak over the Bears is over after a 24-22 loss at Lambeau Field. However, the big story coming out of the game, the health of Jordan Love. The Green Bay starting quarterback left in the second quarter with a right elbow injury. After the game, Love talked about what happened on the play that caused the injury.
I landed on it on the ground, I think. Just kind of pretty much lost all feeling in my hand and pretty much just went numb.
The Packers will be the 7th seed in the NFC playoffs and will visit the number 2 seed Philadelphia Eagles this coming wildcard weekend.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Gabe, it'll change your life. Any barbecue you eat for the rest of your life will be measured against Buc-ee's.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Why?
This is Chewy and I's new Packer song.
Yeah, what's happened since you guys decided to do this?
We're turning it around.
Hey.
Team's 0-2. You know how much we love Palermo's Pizza here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. And with all the football happening today, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, you're going to want to have Palermo's in your freezer. The best thing about Palermo's is all the brands that they have, so they have a slice that fits your appetite. I'm talking about Palermo's, Urban Pie, Connie's, Surfer Boy, Screamin' Sicilian. Well, how do they do this? Well, they've been doing it for 60 years right here in Wisconsin, so they know a thing or two when it comes to premium quality frozen pizza. Find them in your grocer's frozen food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
Joshy is clearly trying to reverse curse. He's trying to do a reverse curse this morning here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We're seeing a lot of slander for Christian Watson on the YouTube stream in the comments. And it is saying that Christian Watson hasn't always been available and the team has done fine without him. But the numbers back up that the team is better. The offense is better when Christian Watson is on the field. Gabe, what did you find?
Yeah, I think that's a narrative more for last year. This year, he's been their most important receiver. In the 5 games that he was healthy after the bye, he was averaging 77.4 yards per game for the Packers, which is far and away the most production that any receiver had in those 5 games. Everybody else was falling off, while Christian Watson was starting to hit his stride before that injury against New Orleans.
So there are other numbers online that indicate that Christian Watson is the difference maker or has been the difference maker in the offense. When he is not on the field, 1.3 yards per route run, 2.4% explosive play per route for the Green Bay Packers. Those rank 13th in the league and 19th in the league, respectively. Compare that to when he is on the field, 1.67 yards per route run and 3.7 explosive play per route. Both of those rank first in the league. So when Watson is on the field, the offense is more dynamic. It is better. He obviously will not be on the field this week against the Philadelphia Eagles, which brings me to my next point, guys. Figure for all of the people who are saying that we have been negative, for all of the people saying Johnny Raincloud has spread to the rest of us, we thought we would put together a recipe for victory. A recipe for victory for the Green Bay Packers this week in Philadelphia. Chewy, we begin with yours, which is 2 C players have to play like A players. Who? Does it matter who? Or you got people in mind that you would like to see elevate their game a couple of notches in order for them to win?
I would say Keyshawn, not from a corner standpoint, but from a returner standpoint. And then one of those receivers, Heath, Melton, one of the peripheral guys, has to have a big game. Has to have. Because, I mean, you're going up against the number 1 defense, okay? Slay's a good corner, right? So he's going to be covering Dobbs. Jaden Reed is kind of a Swiss Army knife receiver, but he does some nice things in the backfield with the ball. So, but I think one of those peripheral receivers has to have one touchdown, 90-yard game in order for them to win.
That is one thing that we have on the recipe for victory. I also have takeaways on this list. Win the turnover margin by 2. You got to take the ball away. You got to limit the amount of time that the Eagles are on the field, I believe, and keep Saquon Barkley at bay. But the takeaways will go a long way, and that will be a big factor if you can win the turnover margin by 2. Gabe, what do you have?
Jordan Love's got to be the best quarterback in the game. I don't know if that necessarily means he needs to have 300 yards, because I feel like the way the Packers win this game is it's lower scoring, like lower 20s. You start getting to the upper 20s and 30s with no Christian Watson. I think it gets tough for the Packers to get to 30, but he has to play better than Jalen Hurts.
Does he have to play his best game of the season? You were crunching the numbers. Miami, 75% completion percentage, 274 with 2 tutties, 74 against, I believe it was Seattle, 74%. 229 and the 2 touchdowns as well. Does he have to play his best game of the season for them to win this one?
I think the 2 touchdowns is the big part there. 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Can't be turning the ball over, but you still have to find a way to get those explosive plays.
And please spy Jalen Hurts. Please just spy him.
It's funny you mention that. The Packers have done a lot of spying, and they've been pretty good at it. And that brings in Edgerrin Cooper, who, to me, has been one of the better linebackers in all of the NFL through the second half of this season here. I think he needs to continue that and be the best player on defense throughout the entire weekend.
Better than Jalen Carter.
You can even extend this to other teams. He needs to be that good. And if you watch his run stops, there are so many of them. And to stop Saquon Barkley, you have to get some tackles for loss or tackles for nothing, because he'll take you for 3 yards every single time. And that's not a recipe to win against them.
Chewy did say earlier in the week that Matt LaFleur needs to outcoach Nick Sirianni in order for this to be a victory for the green and gold. I will also add that I would like to see Tucker Kraft more involved in the offense. I think he can be a difference maker. Gabe, you were saying, though, that when he starts to elevate his catches, when he elevates the targets, it hasn't been a recipe for victory.
So 5 times this year he's had 4 or more catches. The Packers are only 2 and 3 in those games. And that also probably reflects, those games where they started having to chuck it, so he has to catch it. And those are games where Josh Jacobs just hasn't been as effective.
Yeah, I'm talking about more designed plays for Tucker Kraft. Utilize his uniqueness. Go ahead, Chew.
Do you guys want to see a fake punt or a fake field goal? This is the game to do it.
Hey, last game of the year. Can't hold anything back.
Rich doesn't have that in his bag.
Why? He's the 28th ranked special teams coach in the league. How dare you say that?
No, I would love to see a trick play, Chewy. I would love to see something, because the trick play, and correct me if I'm wrong, every time I hear a former player talk about a trick play, they get giddy like children. Like a trick play that they design and put in this week that they all want to run, whether that's a fake punt, whether that's something on offense, I think is going to help loosen this team up and maybe get them back to hey, we just play like our hair's on fire, like nothing matters. Just play with reckless abandonment.
Basically, balls to the walls, a dang, boogie, we about to and upchuck the boogie.
Upchuck. I think there will be some upchucking happening this weekend. Not from you, dry Janua. Not from you.
Yeah.
Somebody on the talking text line and the YouTube stream says, did she just say better than Jalen Carter? He is not better than Jalen Carter. That from T. Grant. T. Hello. Welcome to the program. We said he has to play better than Jalen Carter. This is the recipe for victory for the Green Bay Packers. And Josh is saying he has to be the better player on the field on Sunday as part of our recipe for victory. I can't tell if this playing of the song means you are optimistic about them winning or you think that it's going to follow the trend.
One of 2 things happens. Either the Packers losing this song is banned forever, or the Packers win and we never hear the end of it.
For the record, I would like the latter to occur. I want the Packers to win. I will. I don't even know what I'll do. I don't even know what I will do. If we were so wrong about the Packers' chances in this game, we'll come up with something. We'll mea culpa our way through the Monday, and I will be the happiest person on the planet to do just that. Wilde and Tausch is next on ESPN Milwaukee. Have a great weekend, everybody.